All right, here's the fee area.
That's so messed up.
Okay, we're at mile 1.
Can I talk?
Yeah. So what do you
Okay,
think?
this is getting really messed up. Where's the rainforest? Looks the same.
Get it, guys? It's an old shtick.
All right, here's the 3 trails that they have. The Hall of Mosses, the Spruce Trail, and the Whole River Trail. So we're taking the Hall of Mosses. Let's go. Here's our first bridge, and we're going right over. Look at this. Look how green that is. Clear the water is. Isn't that awesome or what? And these ferns hanging from the... All right. And over here, the trail trail starts going up.
There's a certain kind of lavender that smells like this. Do you have it filming?
Smells like what?
Lavender.
Lavender?
Smells
Yeah,
like
there's
forest.
Here we have a sign ascending this bank beginning the 3/4 mile loop. You have climbed to a high river terrace. You are now entering an older part of the forest. Here there is a primeval spirit, moldering logs, trunk shaggy with moss. Look at the moss hanging from these trees all the way up. Wow. Little branches just sticking out, hanging with moss. And we're going to make a turn here to the Maple Grove, 200 feet. Here's the. This is why this is called Hall of the Mosses. Look how long the moss is hanging. How far down the moss is hanging from this tree. At certain points, it's like 4 or 5 feet, just hanging down. Look at that. Well, Chase, you think it's a rainforest now?
It's not wet. Jungles are dry.
And here's the here's the grove. Look at this.
I'm telling you, they're not dry, they're wet.
This is awesome. Look at this.
Aren't wet. They're dry.
Look at the tree just enveloped in moss.
Too much moss.
Look at the way these two trees are sitting on top of a one that fell, and the roots. Look at that. The roots are wrapped around it.
This is the horsey tree.
This is on. I've never seen this before. Look at this. Some more of them. Look. What now?
I can't talk.
I can't talk. Holy moly. Look at that. Look how thick that moss is coming off the tree. Holy crap. Look at this one right here. All right, Chase, could you tell us if that's soft or wet? Go feel it.
It looks so flammable.
Just tell us. No, the moss there. Oh, you're afraid to touch it now? What's it feel like? What's it feel like, Chase?
Feels stringy.
This bag is not yet kept out 3 years. You get a number of mature trees established on it, and the nurse log is pretty much non-existent. I mean, it's in there somewhere, but like in here, you can kind of see there's some decaying wood in there. That's the last remaining remnants of that nurse log that fell. But these trees are pretty big, and been growing here for a long time, over 100 years, maybe closer to 150 years that these trees have been growing. And you can tell by a couple ways. You can tell by their buttress roots. You can tell because they're all in a line. So when that tree fell, and that nurse log, and then it just grew. All the trees grew in a line because that's where the nurse log was. The numbers are something like 1 in 1,000 seeds will actually turn into a tree. So to have a few trees here, we had a few thousand seeds fall, but only these trees made it. And it's a competition. What happens when the tree falls is we have a beetle here called the ambrosia beetle that comes in and starts eating away, trying to get that sugar that's in the soil there, or in the bark. And then they'll leave these holes. And then when the seeds fall, if they land in those holes, that's a really cool situation, because then that seed is kind of protected. It's not going to get blown off by the wind, washed away by the rain, ripped away by a critter that was crawling around on it, and it has a kind of a safe place to kind of grow for a minute. And then once it starts to kind of get a little bit taller, the nurse log is just a temporary place for it. And once it can actually get established and hold itself up and that kind of thing, then it'll start reaching those roots down around to the ground so it can start growing up. One thing about the Sitka spruce tree that I did not mention is it has really prickly needles. So in addition to its scaly bark and its kind of lighter pine cones, it has very prickly needles. So as it's growing up, if it's growing next to another tree, even another spruce, it's going to be fairly pokey. So the bigger one is probably going to be more pokey and kind of get going. So as it starts growing up and growing out broader this way, it does have lower limbs to start with, and it kind of might push out the competition.